What's going on with y'all? It's Polo back up in here with another one. Smash the like, hit the sub, and let's just go ahead and tackle this. Man, this was one of the best duels of all time. I I enjoyed watching the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp, and Gary Payton, also known as the Glove. I grew up in that era, and when you talk about '90s basketball, you have to mention Shawn Kemp and GP. I mean, just hands down, as one of the best duos ever to do it. And although they never, you know, could quite get over the hump, they definitely had some great memories. A couple things that I want to go ahead and touch on um, in terms of the sit down that they had. From my perspective, I thought that it was a very therapeutic sit down between the two because unlike some other duos, they had a strong bond, and it wasn't a lot of turmoil or anything like that between them. It had to do with more so Sean Kemp parting ways with the organization, and then GP had felt like he was missing something, and they actually needed each other. And unlike, I'll give you an example, like Kobe and Shaq. You know, the media has a lot to do with them not getting along and everything, but those guys really truly did did not get along. But on the court, they were in tandem that led to three straight championships. But off the court, they they weren't like the best of friends or anything. But with Sean and GP, it was quite different. They had a strong bond on and off the floor, and you can actually see the chemistry that worked well. But as I stated before, they just couldn't get over the hump. Now, I'm gonna break down both of them. I don't really need to do that much, especially for the people that actually watched both of these guys. Uh, Sean Kemp, was one of those type of players that, you know, he was athletic. I mean, he could do it all. Uh, over his career at the power forward position, I mean, he was easily giving you, double doubles every night. You know, um, he was just a walking double double, but he did it with flair, and he did it with excitement. Sean Kemp, 6'10", 6'11", was doing stuff that guards were doing. He could handle the rock. He could he could take it coast to coast. Will dunk on you, and was nasty with it too, just like a lot of '90s players were. But Sean Kemp was unreal with the way he would dunk on you and showboat, as they called it back in the days, on you, and just rub it in. And it's funny because when I saw the video when he dunked on Gatling, shook his hand. Even though he was showboating and clowning, he couldn't do nothing but shake his hand and give him that. But that's how it was in the '90s. They met each other at the rim. If you got dunked on, you got dunked on. It wasn't no big deal. Nowadays, it's guys are afraid to meet each other at the rim. You know, well, some guys. You know, it's not the same in terms of individuals coming up together and actually challenging each other. I could I could name very few, but Shawn Kemp was one of those guys. Uh, you know, he was not only just a leaper, he could actually shoot pretty good too, especially the mid range. About from 15 feet, at the most, sometimes a little bit further, but he had a nice little mid range, and he had actually had some pretty decent moves in the post because he was so agile, and he knew how to. He was quicker than a lot of the big men that he faced. But when Shawn Kemp had left, Seattle, it really, it was downhill from there, you know, and if you're looking for this video to be, me, you know, talking down on Shawn Kemp and all that stuff, or talking down on players, I don't really do that much because I like to give people their flowers, especially when they smell them, and give them they just do. That's what this is about. It's not about getting on his channel and being like, oh yeah, well he had this problem or he had that problem. Look, everybody is gonna go through various issues, and see, the thing about it is that you know no one is perfect. Okay, Sean had his downfalls, with the addiction and the lifestyle and everything. And had he not had that, he would have been a Hall of Famer. He was already a six-time All Star, and a three-time All NBA in the course of his in his career. But after he left Seattle, his days were pretty much done. Now he did average, you know, uh, in Cleveland, he averaged his first year he averaged uh, 20.5 points, and then the second year he averaged around 17.8. But then when he went to Portland and Orlando, he was pretty much done. Um, when it comes to GP, his career, actually was more celebrative, if you uh, if you want to look at it in that regards, because he ultimately became a Hall of Famer. Gary Payton, uh, when he first began, uh, he actually got off to a real slow start before he became the glove, but you could actually see spurts in Gary Payton of what was to come.